Hey, you guys, let me know if you can hear me okay. Happy holidays to everybody. Happy holidays from Pocky. Awesome. Yes, I have a slightly different setup this time, so hopefully there's more room on my desk to do some actual drawing and inking. And there's a bunch of pages on my desk, so I don't know if that's actually true. Should probably move some of this stuff. But you never know. Let's leave this here. I have been drawing nonstop every day. The comic book, which is what we want, because it is in full swing right now, and there's never enough time in a day to do all of this. So, okay, let me move the big pages out of the way, but if I do need to refer back to the layouts, I will bring them over here. So, all right, you guys, I'm gonna say hi to everybody, as always. 1 second. Thank you, Morris. I love this sweater. It is hot, so I don't need the heat today. You know, normally I'm freezing, but today this sweater is keeping me pretty warm, including the light bulbs around my neck right now. So let's see here. Hello, Richard. Hello, JD. Moderator Lampsplat. Hello, Arthur. John Brown. Bandit Rose. Peter, hello. Thank you for being here early. And Echo, I guess, will be here briefly. Or you guys miss? Okay, coming later. Definitely drop by. And State of the Art, same thing. You guys are super busy. I'm not surprised. It's getting closer and closer to Christmas, so everybody's shopping. And boy, do I know that we had to like rush to Target before my live stream, and there's cars everywhere and people everywhere. I'm like, what? I guess I'm not surprised. So. The artist formerly known as Rico. Robbie, hello. So Wolf 10 Media, hello to you. Oh, Wolf 10 Media, don't be ashamed. I kind of made it so I have to draw every week now. I kind of made it impossible for you not to draw. Oh, sweet. So Tisette, so sometimes I will shorten names if I can't pronounce it because I'm horrible at pronunciations. So Tisette, so 8215. Thank you for joining us for the first time. Hello, Last Man Walking. Stefan. Do I blend in with a Christmas tree? I know I do, Stefan. In fact, here, let me stand right next to it. Yeah. So I'm going to have this necklace on for another 10 minutes, and then I'm going to take it off because the battery pack's behind my neck and it's scratchy. Did I disappear? Oh, camouflage. Yeah, I know. If I really wanted to blend in at Walmart, I would probably do that. Just stand next to a tree. So today we're probably going to do a little bit of penciling, a little bit of inking, because these lines are, even for me, a little rough. I don't have the background yet. So this is the arcade / comic book store / lounge that we spoke of, you guys. The Sky Surfer Lounge. So I still have to design it because I want it to look really cool. But you could kind of see that I roughed in parts of the story already. The dialogue here, so I don't forget. And then some of the main things that I want here. So apparently when I designed it, let's see. This is super rough. So just so I know what I'm doing. The arcade cabinets are on the second floor, I think. The lounge is on the main floor for some reason, or maybe I could switch it. And then we have the comic book shop, maybe lower floor. Haven't quite figured it out yet. And this is where they dock, and then you have like the hoverboards here, and then the flying cars would be right here. And of course, people who don't have access to those, there's an elevator, so there's a bottom floor to get up to the top floors. So that's how my simplified version of this arcade. super rough. And since this is going to take up like 3 or 4 pages, I need to make sure that it looks exactly how I want it to and it's consistent. So here's, they're eating chicken wings in this scene and discussing how to get a job. So anyhow, let's kind of get started. And here's the page from last week that I did, part of it. And, you know, he's wiping off the blood from Saint's face, his nose. They've got a garbage bin full of, you know, tissue paper, I guess, from the previous scene. So he got a Band-Aid and toilet paper in his nose, and he's pointing at his brother. So this is all from last week, or from last week's page. So we are moving along, and my goal is to get at least up to page 32 roughed out by the end of next week. I'm probably gonna get there sooner than that, but there's a really big double page splash scene of the city, so that's gonna take me quite a bit of time to do. So I have to go backtrack and do that. We're introducing a new character in the comic book. Her name is Mia. She's a waitress. So yeah, Peter, I will try to definitely make it in 3D, but if I don't have time, probably gonna have to just like chicken scratches again. Stopping in to say hi. Okay, T. I will call you T. Stopped by to say back to playing Black Myth Wukong. Oh yeah, that's right. The Game Awards was a couple of days ago, and I made like an impulse purchase last night. I went and got what is it? Just slipped my mind. Expedition 33, I just call it that. Clair Obscure. And I got it because it was kind of cheap compared. It wasn't full price, so I bought the physical copy. And hopefully I'll get it next week and I can play it. So. Oh, you cried when Mega Man was revealed. Of course you would. Because no one knew it was coming, so that was awesome. And Resident Evil looks awesome. I'm so excited to try to play this one, but it looks so scary, you guys. I hate it when things chase after me and they're just freaky. But then, you know, Leon is such a badass. I feel like I wouldn't be as scared playing the game if I know that he's a main character or Chris. So. Oh, yeah. I actually started watching someone, I forgot who it was, streaming it. I was trying to find whatever stream I can to watch it, to watch the live stream, the playthrough of Expedition 33 because of the hype, and I was like, man, this looks really good, so I decided to buy it and see how it is. I mean, for $50, you can't go wrong. Okay, so I'm gonna get a little warmed up and start inking areas where I know it's gonna be all basically in shadow, so that the focus is on him, Saint waving feverishly to this really pretty girl that he just met. And his brother is joking. He's like, dude, I forgot you were in prison for 10 years, so you haven't seen a girl in 10 years. I mean, and the last time he saw a girl, he was in middle school, so it's like a kid out of a fish out of water. And yeah, so I have to start drawing this thing full time now. I'm so excited. But it still feels kind of weird doing it. It's like, am I really going to be able to do this full time? I haven't done this in so long for myself. But I think the thing that really helped was the momentum of going from working on the Rockefellers with Peter Tomasi and Francis Manipul was the fact I didn't stop drawing at all interior work. So I was consistently used to the deadlines and doing interior pages. So there wasn't really a break in between all that. And I think that's my saving grace right now. So, oh sweet, Bandit Rose, join along and pencil with me, or ink and pencil. So this is generally how I do it, especially when I want speed. I will go in and ink either outlines first or just the things that I know are defined and ready to go, and then sometimes I'll jump to another page and ink panels from there. That way I keep the assembly line moving, because I'm doing it all by myself. So I skip around a little bit. If I was working for another company per se, I would skip around and do batches of 4 pages so that I make sure all 4 pages get done at the same time when I send it out, instead of like jumping around way too much. Nice. Nice, Richard. Hello, David. Thank you for joining us. Yeah, Stefan, I set deadlines for myself and it's consistent, because we have a delivery date and a date set, or we're trying to, and then I'm trying to coordinate it with Frank from Aspen and Rux Comics so that we fulfill our, the Echoes Kickstarter around the same time as Neo Wonderland. So I have a set deadline and I have to make sure I meet those. But I'm really excited because I'm already on page, what is this? Page 20. I was working on page 26 last night and there's 44 pages. So at this pace, I should be, knock on wood, I should be able to get the pencils done at least before Christmas, hopefully. Because look, these are pretty rough lines. They're not crazy tight, but there's just enough here for me to work with. The goal is to get the whole book out as much as possible, lettering and everything, by the end of February, because we need a whole month to get everything together, and that means fulfillment is in April. So I've got tight deadlines, but I'm good with that because this is my own book. This is what I've waited a long time to do. So, hello, Captain Robert. I think it is time to take this necklace off. Oh, yes, that's exactly what I didn't want to have happen. It's cool though, I can put it on my tree now. Is it off? No. Okay. Alrighty. Hang out here with Bob Ross. Oh, thank you so much, Leo. I'm excited and nervous, and if I do this one right, everything goes as smoothly as I can at this point, then I'm excited because I want to get the first volume done by the end of 2026. And I think it's possible. Oh, thank you so much, Bonzo. Yeah, I wouldn't consider this very tight, but it's enough for me to know what's going on. And you know what? I might switch inks because the Sumi ink is doing interesting things with the I don't want it to be too looks watered down, and if I accidentally go over it with water again, it starts to move because it's Sumi ink and it's water based. So let's use India ink if I have any left. Okay. Oh, thank you, Robert. It's kind of hard for me not to be that way during this time of the year. Like my mom and I used to love decorating and getting all festive during Christmas, and since she's no longer with us, it just every time I get ready and decorate for Christmas, I think about my mom, and it makes me so happy. So that's where I get my energy, my festive energy from, I guess. There's one thing I can't do is I can't cook as well as her, that's for sure. Okay, let's try. Oh, Robert. So let's try India ink and see the difference. In fact, I'll put it right next to the Sumi ink so you guys can see the slight difference. Oh, I like that. It's darker. It's almost like a black hole. Thank you so much, Mighty R. Okay, so Yev asked a good question. When penciling, how much do you leave out, knowing your inks will add more details when you get to that step? Do you pencil any different when you know that you will ink your own work? Yeah, actually I do. Yeah, when I know it's my own work, obviously I I leave a lot of roughness to it because then I could pick a line out and then add more volume to it. Whereas if I knew someone else is inking it, I might, if there's an important thing that they need to know what it is, see, I know that this is a chicken wing, right? Chicken drumstick, miniature, actually it's a chicken wing. But if it was someone else inking it, I would make sure that these lines right here are a lot more clean so that they know it's a chicken wing and not like chicken nuggets or something. And yeah, I would probably, like right here, this is supposed to be, I'll give you an example. This is supposed to be the string for his hoodie. Where's my pencil? I would make sure that, you know, it looks like it's coming out of his hoodie. So, I mean, even this right here is enough. But with faces, if someone else is inking me, I try to make sure my faces are pretty tight so that it looks as close to my what I had in mind as possible, because I made the mistake of not doing that a few times, and the faces didn't look like what I intended in my head. So, oh, you're welcome. Aw, my condolences, Jay. I totally know how that feels. It's rough, but that's why I like to be festive, to celebrate their life when they're not around anymore, whenever possible, because it was a beautiful, you know, it was a beautiful person to have in our life, and so I like to celebrate that instead of being too what's the word, solemn, I guess. So I'm just warming up. I haven't inked in a good week because I don't think doing commissions counts as inking because I'm coloring most of the time. So I just finished my last batch of commissions. It's being sent out. I think it's supposed to arrive at my art rep's place today, so those will go out next week, I'm sure. So it's full-time, like I said, Neo Wonderland, and a few commissions for the convention in Orlando, and that's basically it. So this thing has got to be out of the door by February, no later. I had to go into the layouts and edit the script a little bit and make it you know, because we came up with all these cool ideas, make it more streamlined and better approaches to certain pages. I felt like certain scenes were a little slow, so I had to go in there and hasten up the pace, maybe make the dialogue and combine a couple of pages where it felt like it was too slow. The pacing of the story wasn't where I wanted it to be, so I changed the pacing a little bit more. But that's what's nice about having that story ruminate in my head for a couple years since I wrote the script the first time, or the third draft. High gear, yeah, no pun intended. So JD, there's like 3 pages at least, or 4 pages of street racing or competitive racing. I don't want to call it street racing because it's technically a competition. So it's literally going into high gear. Let me switch it to live chat. And I'm saving those pages for last JD because I know that that's going to take a lot of planning. I already planned out how the scene is going to play out, but I want to, you know, design the racetrack to be, it's basically, it takes place around the whole entire city, and so the streets are blocked off. My brother and I came up with this concept years ago, and so I want to make sure that it shows how special and different it is compared to just regular street racing or, you know, F1 or something. It's a lot like racing in Monaco in a way because it goes through the whole entire city. But these cars are not all the cars look, you know, they're pretty hodgepodgey and thrown together sort of. With, you know, some guys don't have a whole lot of money to mod their cars, and some people are sponsored, so it's a little different. What was the biggest challenge in learning pacing? Last Man Walking. I guess not to fall in love with your scenes too much, because you're not the only one. I guess when I say you, I mean me. I'm not the only one reading my own script, and so I might be in love with a scene, and I swear there's like some scenes I'm like, it's so important, it needs to be in there, and it needs to be every little last ounce of everything I wrote, and then I go back and look at it like, yeah, that scene is important, but isn't there a better way to make it more interesting? Because the last thing you want to do is have people reading a bunch of talking head scenes where you do want the story to move along, but it's not interesting the way that maybe it was told. So that's the hardest part, is not being too precious with certain scenes just because you think it's important, and just in service of moving the story along instead of like too many quiet moments. I guess I think that's the toughest part. Yeah, Richard, it does, right? It looks I like how it looks. I haven't used India ink in a while, but I started to do it after I started using color India ink, and I, kind of wanted to use what I have to see how it turns out, and it's more permanent. Whereas if I do Sumi ink, it's really good with Copics. But I think if India ink dries long enough, it might be okay. But it started to smear when I colored over it with markers, so I was like, okay, maybe not. Still not working out. Okay, so I think I'm warmed up enough. I'm gonna go in and do it when I normally. I think I'm gonna do what I normally do. I think this sweater is making me stutter more. So I'm gonna go in, and what I normally do is outline the characters and add like the deepest shade. I know that David Finch does it differently, where he goes and does the outlines first, and he goes afterwards and adds the shadow in, which is probably what I will do. I'll try his way. But I kind of jump around a little bit, but I want to be more consistent with my light and shadow approach, I guess, now that I'm doing all these pages myself. It's like Mike did it with the Supergirl storyline. Is that what he did? I I never knew that. I should ask Frank about that and Peter. The Power of Rudolph, I know. Oh yeah, for sure, Stefan. That's kind of how I was thinking about it too. And I think if it wasn't for the fact that I do videos as well, I'd probably miss a bunch of the pacing issues. When I'm reading back the script and when you're drawing it, you don't really think. I mean, it's maybe not everybody's like that, but with me, because I'm so used to doing film and video, that it's easier for me to see pacing through the eyes of like a film storyboard or screenplay, I guess, because I'd watch my stuff back sometimes and I'd leave in certain parts and I'm like, I should probably edit some of those parts out because it drags the episode too far. So Jacob asks what your approach to choosing when use India ink or Copic markers. If it's a really big piece, like anything bigger than 11, well, even 11 by 17, if I know I have to cover a lot of area with one color, then I usually tend to do India ink. If it's Copic markers, generally speaking, I'm confident that my lines or my coloring when I blend it is going to look good and not splotchy. So that's kind of what determines it. And sometimes if it's a commission, the person who asks for the commission will request a certain medium and size that they want. But when I'm doing covers, I will most definitely use India ink, color India ink for the background, and the characters I may blend in a little bit of marker just for smooth skin or something. Okay, so let's move over and start outlining. Let's get to the fun part, you guys. Let's ink Pocky. Not good enough? Should I move myself? Let me see if I can move myself. Yeah. Let's move me here for now. I don't want to confuse you guys. So that we can see Pocky's face. Okay. There we go. Thank you so much, Extreme maybe 1534. Oh, Stefan. Yeah, you know what? I didn't see the animated movie, but it definitely was a Michael Turner Supergirl. And I probably should. I wonder how much of the movie was taken from Mike's version of Supergirl as well, the new one that's coming out. T, what's the comic book about? This is about two brothers and I'm trying not to spoil anything. Let's see, because I've had my elevator. I was doing interviews for like 4 weeks straight, and then we had like the elevator pitched down. So now I'm like having to redo it again. So it's about two brothers. One was in prison for 10 years. He was in prison as a child, and he's now back out of prison, and he tries to rekindle his relationship with his younger brother, who no longer lives in the village that they were from, and he finds his brother in the city of Shangri-La, and he thinks that his brother's a tax collector because that's what his mom told him. Come to find out that his younger brother owes a lot of debt, and so Saint tries to find a way to pay his brother's debt back. But the harder that Saint tries, the more trouble he basically gets himself and his brother into, and so he is at wit's end and becomes an assassin. So that's the gist of the story, and it's cyberpunk. So we have hoverboards and flying cars and stuff like that. Oh, sweet, Stefan. You know what? Let me see if I could try to find the movie and watch it. I'm just curious because I brought my Supergirl comics with me, so I have those. And I don't know if I have a really big Michael Turner book because I couldn't fit it in the truck when we were moving. Yeah, Juvie is harsh, man. Like, in fact, they have arcades in Shangri-La's prison. So, hello, Billy, Power Max 2264. Thank you so much, David. So he's like, "What are we doing?" And Shin's like, "Oh, we're gonna have chicken wings." And then we got. Okay, I'll tell you guys this part right here. So Aya's sitting back here with her laptop and she's drinking a soda. You can't see Pocky here in this scene, and she's basically following these guys. And then Pocky pops up from beside her, and he's like still mad about the whole debacle with him getting his chicken nuggets, which if you guys have my mailing list, you'll know that Pocky loves chicken nuggets, and there was a scene where he's waiting to get his chicken nuggets and they ran out of the special, and he was so pissed. And of course this guy pops up in that scene. He's got a black eye and he wants food too, and then him and the cat get into a huge fight in the fast food restaurant. So that's why Pocky's not happy right now. Yeah, Rob, hoverboards for sure. I gotta design some more hoverboards. I know, get him, Pocky. I know, he's gonna try to do it again. Scratch his eyes out. Okay, let's go ink Pocky, you guys. We're all waiting for this. Let's see. I'm gonna lighten it so it's not so so much shadow right now when I put my hand over it. Okay, that's pretty good. Okay. All right, let's ink Pocky again. A lot of ink, and the thing with the India ink is once you load the brush, it's smooth, almost too smooth sometimes, and sometimes I like a little bit more. Well, see, my paper there's not a ton of teeth on the paper, so it glides onto my my line art, and sometimes I don't want it to be super smooth, so I have to clean it off with a paper towel just a little bit. Hey, Michael. How are you doing today? Hello, Junkum. Thank you for joining. You guys, it's awesome. I think we're okay. In fact, I was going to tell you, we're not going to have Vince today. He told me yesterday he's going to be bummed that he's missing out. And I told him, I'll tell you guys that he has more important things to do than hang out with us. So we're not special. But he gives his regards to everybody. He didn't say all that. He tried, which is more than what I could say. I know, no Vince. And speaking of Vince, I'm thinking about the fantasy football team. I barely missed the playoffs, so I was really bummed. That was my fault. It was around the time when the Kickstarter was wrapping up and stuff, and so I didn't take one of the guys out that was injured, and didn't have enough points to beat the one guy that had the last playoff spot, and he only beat me by a few points, and so if I would have switched my guy out, I would have made it to the playoffs. So yeah, it's the end of my season, and I'm bummed. Too smooth. Don't know if I want it to be this smooth. He posted a container with stuff and wraps to so I guess they are loading that container up. Ooh, nice. Awesome. JD. Yeah, it's the NFL's fault. That's what everybody says though. No, I should have known better, but honestly this year I was surprised I even did as well as I did. I wasn't paying a whole lot of attention because I was so busy. But yeah, I didn't deserve to be in my position. I was like fourth place and then sixth place and then seventh, and I was kind of rotating between those positions. So, oh well, there's always next year. My quarterback was injured most of the season. I mean, Joe Burrow was gone for a while, and he came back, and I benched him the first week, and he did great. Do I have any books in funding right now? Right now? Do you mean like that's trying to get funded? I'm supposed to do the late pledges, you guys. I was trying to figure that out on Friday, but I didn't get to finish, so I had to finish and try to figure out late pledges because I didn't have it going while the campaign was going because I didn't want to jump into doing way too much and not understand it completely, and I heard mixed things about how to approach it, so I'm probably gonna do a late pledge thing for Neo Wonderland. We'll figure it out. I feel a lot more comfortable after getting to page 30, I think. Because right now I'm focused on getting this thing drawn and done, so. Oh, awesome. Extreme, maybe? I don't know. I know I'm doing the convention in February in Orlando. Tatiana's going to be there. And that's the original art convention expo, I think, in Orlando. And I don't have anything else planned just yet. Like I was telling everybody here, I'm not going to plan anything else up until this book is delivered. Then I'll feel more comfortable. But for now, we got to focus on Pocky. So you see how you could kind of see my the marks that I made, like on his fur and stuff. I don't want to completely ink that. I want it to seem a little rough still. So the key to doing that is making sure you don't have too much ink on the brush. So I'm cleaning off some of the brush, and what I could do is, go into a spot that's already kind of inked and see how much ink is left on here. Because it looks too... Okay, that might work. Yeah, he's got the cute aggression. That's a cat for you, right? Nothing new there. He's always ready for combat because he's wearing his helmet with the angler fish and goldfish on it. Yeah, I love his helmet. You know, maybe in the last Kickstarter for the year, I'll offer. I mean, I could probably offer like a little figurine with Pocky wearing the helmet. That would be cute, or a plushie. Ghouls. Because I know Aspen has that for one of the Soulfire Kickstarters. They had like a stuffed Grace. I got, I wouldn't say stuffed animal, but plushie, I guess. Yeah, I know. I would love to have a plushie of Pocky. I think it's a self-serving thing for me to want one. Okay, how much ink is on here? Ooh. And just because her face is so delicate, you know how I am with faces, you guys. I'm gonna get the thinnest marker I could find, and the ink with a multi-liner. See if I can find a thin one. Where is my? Here it is. So I got the Uni multi-liners. So let's get a thin one. Make sure her face looks good. Die Hard Christmas movies, yes or no? Oh, that's hard. Yes, of course. And Gremlins, I love the ones where kind of like campy and also just, it takes it to another level. Tough question though, right? So what are you guys gonna watch during that time? Oh, you know what we're doing? We're just gonna game all day long. So I'm gonna buy, I think, Battlefront 2. I'm gonna play that, Red Dead Redemption 2, and then I'm gonna play Expedition 33, I think. I think that's enough games, right? In fact, I might have anxiety trying to play all these different games, but this is the one day where I'm not working. Yes, Klaus is such a good movie. Made me cry. But I haven't taken a day off in so long that per year, I think I take 3 days off in total. And the only reason why I don't work at all sometimes is because I'm backpacking or camping, and even then I bring my work, you know. So I usually take about 3 days off a year, and even on Christmas I don't take days off. But I think this year I should probably just take one day where I'm just gaming, because I've been waiting so long to game. It's been so long since I've actually sat down and played without having anxiety, because I feel like I need to be working all the time. So do you have to lay out perspective grids at all? Yeah, I do. The Asker ladder. The Asker ladder. I do have to do perspective grids. You can kind of see I roughed it in here, but when I have to go in and actually do any technical stuff, then yeah, I would use my ruler and start laying that out. And you see the grid behind me, that also assists me with like making sure my lines are straight when I don't need to use the ruler and stuff. So it just helps me with like perspective and all that. The cutting map does that. Tokyo Godfather is a Christmas movie. You should jump into Fortnite. Oh, dude, the ogre. Nah, I don't know if I could do. That game is so addicting. I'm pretty sure it's like Minecraft. Anything that I know I'm gonna spend a lot of time doing and hard to get away from, I probably won't do it. That's why I like playing Call of Duty online, because it's like, you know, we limit ourselves to 3 to 4 games and then we jump out of that. Otherwise, I'll just be playing the whole time. Final Fantasy. My brother loves Final Fantasy. Taking time off to, especially from all the crazy holiday sales. Yeah. At least you got sales, bro. It's been been a pretty interesting season for me, to say the least. Because doing a Kickstarter during the holidays is probably the scariest thing. Because everybody's got to buy stuff for other people, and then I'm stressing out because I have to buy stuff for people as well. So Christmas shopping, which I have not done yet. Kim Kardashian's. You know what? I would love to have one of my characters as a skin. Or Lolo on Fortnite. Ooh, Lolo would be awesome on Fortnite. I got to do a Midas commission, and I did a full-on commission of him, and so that's when I kind of learned how the game was, the story and everything, and I thought it was really cool. The different chapters. You know what I love about the game, and I will say this. I was watching the playthrough of Midas, and I like the way the gun sounds when he's shooting, and the movement of his cape, and when he runs, and the mechanics is really, really cool. Smooth. So I could see why everybody loves it. I tried to play Uncharted, but I forgot why. It's because when I see that kind of environment with Uncharted, especially, I kind of want to run around and do whatever I want to do, like an RPG. But since it's limited and it's mostly platforming in a way, and we call them prompts, button prompts, that I just get frustrated because I just want to run around and do absolutely nothing for days and days. That's what I do on Red Dead Redemption. I play just enough of the story so I could go and camp and hunt and ride horses. I mean, I played the first one all the way through with John Marston, and that made me cry, and that was the last time I really did anything where I followed any kind of story without just getting sidetracked. Same thing with Skyrim. I played just enough so I could explore all these towns and stuff. I didn't know that you could do that with you could have a Pocky, like a pet skin. That's cool. But I think with Expedition 33, because the story is such a, and the character development is such a huge part of it, I might have to play the whole thing through and not just wander aimlessly. Crazy cat eyes. There. Oh, thank you so much, Jules Art. So this inking right now I'm using, I think it's an Uni multi-liner. So here you go. And I'm using my favorite Kiritake Menzo brush. And then another Menzo, or Kiritake brush, I think. It's a Sumi brush, basically. And I'm using black India ink for inking. So a bit of both. And I could always go back in and use ink, but for now I just want to use the multi-liner just to speed through this process and get some panels done today. What I was supposed to technically do if I wasn't filming is go back and pencil the rest of the script, but it feels nice to be able to ink here and there, so I'm not looking at a bunch of rough lines, which feels like it's not completed. It's pretty tough figuring out all the dodging, oh, parrying. That's why I was watching videos so I could see how people were doing it. I just want to play through it myself. I know it's kind of, I wouldn't call it cheating, but definitely I want to get the 411 on this stuff before I go and jump in a completely new game, you know. But it looks pretty smooth. I mean, turn-based RPG. I love the lighting on it, and I didn't know this, but they were using the Unreal Engine, which usually is kind of like I believe Gears of War was Unreal Engine, and so everything looked very kind of glossy, and the lighting was always renders it kind of like that. So when I saw that they were using the Unreal Engine, I thought that was pretty cool because it didn't look anything like that. So if there was a new game sequel, what game would you guys want to see as a new sequel? What your favorite franchise, I guess? Ha. Hello, Ronaldo. Thank you for joining us. Gears of War. Okay, Gears of War. I have not seen that movie with Zoe. Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, but not MMO. Yeah, I know, huh? Isn't that the new one that's coming out? It's an MMO. It's not where I could play Battlefront basically. Evil Within. Yeah, that game was so freaky. It was a great story. Metroid would finally get back and maybe stop making games for a while. I have not seen anything with the new Metroid actually. If there is a new one, I love another Valkyrie profile game. Horizon 3. Yeah. Luckily, we've gotten 2 of them already, though. Um, Bioshock, if done right. You know, I was thinking about how Expedition 33 reminded me of Bioshock, and I was hoping that Bioshock, because of the world building they had, would be a lot more like Expedition 33, but maybe more action than turn-based RPG. I think that'd be cool because you could mod and do all this stuff. Yeah, I think that would be fun. Oh, dial it back in the vein of the first one. Would love to see a Zero's Wrath sequel. I've been pretty lucky. They keep making games franchises that I like, or it seems that way at least. There's one thing I would like is a new Fallout, but if I may, I wish they would just use a new engine, just a little bit. I keep complaining about that, but I love Fallout, so. And also players can, oh yeah, create their own maps. You know, I don't know a ton about it, but I know it's an addicting game because there's so much you could do in the game, so. I think John's gonna join in on the painting along with me while I'm inking. Is that so? Okay. Have fun. guess I can show you guys really quick. So if I don't have any time, which is what I was doing with some of the different projects that I was working on, I would just use a brush tip, sort of like a fine brush tip. I think this is what this is, just the speed of the process. But I'll show you really quick. And then go back to the brush. Especially with these these guys right here, they're so tiny, like their hair and stuff, that I could probably use this instead. Because it looks almost the same as a brush. The ink color is a slightly different color. It's not as matte, but then at the same time, when you scan it and then change the threshold on the inks and make, you know, to get just the lines, it looks basically the same. And it's permanent ink, so it's archival, I think. At least I'm hoping. So basically today you guys got to see 3 different ways of inking, different approaches. And you can use all 3 of them at the same time. So this is a good quick way to keep my lines clean and also look like a brush and not like a pen. I used to use, you know, those Kuretake brush pens, but the problem with those is it leaks and I can't control the flow of the ink, and so I stopped using those, even though I loved how it looked when it worked. Robbie, oh, trust me. I keep, you know, I used to buy games and not be able to play all of them, and so I totally see how you, I think we all know how you feel. I'm just giving myself that opportunity to play during Christmas stuff, since no one's really doing anything, and I'm working on my own book, so it's a little bit different than trying to meet deadlines for other projects. So. Oh yeah, the Lego Batman game. I thought he was funny. I'm sorry, Ogre Bucks. I think I missed what you said about hoverboards and flying cars and cars. Okay, I was gonna jump around, but I think I'll just finish her hair off and then go to the next panel. What's nice about these live streams is I know I spent 2 full hours working on this, and then I you know, get further along. So I learned how to talk and draw, but remember the first 2 live streams I had a hard time talking and drawing. It was just, I got nothing done. Okay, so I'm happy with the outlines, at least, you know, when you squint your eyes, you can kind of see the broader shapes. So now I can move on to the next panel. Do you do digital, Mr. Dinkle? Yes, I do. In fact, I'm going to be coloring this digitally. And once in a while, I'll do digital line art as well, but not super often. But the colors on this is going to be digital. With Clip Studio Paint, to be exact. So I'm using a different brush this time. I think this one might absorb the ink a little bit better. It's a different tip as well, so I'm taking chances. But as always, if I need to find out how it's going to look, do scratch paper or just go to an area where you know it's supposed to be black anyway. So. Maybe I should move myself now. Back here. Okay. Okay, hard question. How do you go from um, realistic faces to cartoony ones? I think if you're very cognizant of when you're making marks, like your proportions, I think learning proportions and knowing when to hold the detail back and when to add to it helps. And I think it takes practice. I think it's more of a shape thing and proportions thing. So that's how you do it. Because right now, if I wanted to color her face, right now she looks like a cartoon, sort of stylized cartoon character. But if I started coloring and adding the shading on the cheeks and under the eyes and more detail, it's going to start looking more and more realistic, even though it's still technically kind of an uncanny valley of realism versus cartoons. It's or animation, so it just takes practice. But the key thing is proportions and shapes that you use. Okay, so let's jump back to the other pen. Or maybe I like this instead. Trying to decide whether I want to use a pen or a brush for her hair, because I like this brush. It's good for hair. But the ink makes it so it's chunkier, I guess. Yeah. I think for the sake of precision, I'm going to use my multi-liner or pen. Merry Christmas to you, Black Tigress 247. A hyper realistic Pocky would look great. You know, it's funny, he's a real cat, so I would just I do have a model for the cat, so it would look just like the real cat, but with a helmet. Oh, thank you so much, Michael White. Yeah, that was my first time out doing anything for myself, and it was a huge, ambitious undertaking. I mean, when you're young, you're like, I could do this, and you do it, and you learn. So definitely there's things I wanted to do then that I feel like I'm able to do now with my art and my style and confidence. So I needed to go through that process, that painful process, just to kind of get where I'm at now. And even then, it's like you never stop growing, but it'd be nice to turn in some really nice work consistently, because comic books, you got to draw all the time. So okay, awesome, Mr. Roll on the floor laughing. Good luck with that. It just takes practice when it comes to style, because even I had to do all that because I was learning so much from other artists that at some point I felt like I wanted to have my own style developed. And you you know, at first it's like there's a lack of confidence because you think that, you know, you're trying to draw what's popular and the style that's popular, and then you don't have your voice yet, and then once you do, you're almost afraid that people won't like it. Because I definitely felt that way doing this book. Like, you know, it's so different, than such a departure from all the stuff I've done before. But at some point, you gotta do what makes you feel special. Special, different, authentic. And since I like so much of the Western style and European and manga that I had to find like a happy medium, because I love the amount of detail that you could put into certain things when you have different styles, but then other things I feel like it could be more simplified, like the faces, so that the expressions come through. Plus it's quicker. Oh, thank you so much, Echo. Do you like my, what is it? I got a bunch of a reindeer on my sweater. That's why I bought it. I was looking for an ugly sweater, but I'm like, oh, it's too hard to pass up the reindeer though. Reminds me of Pocky. What did Peter say? Hey, Sia, did you see Peter's question? No, I did not. Let me see. Let me scroll up really quick. Unless Peter wants to copy paste what he wrote, because I didn't see. Okay, here he goes. Oh. Okay, so Sia, you mentioned in the Discord to ask my question. Do you have any advice when putting together a comic book proposal? We have a team and we'll have 7 pages done next month to pitch to publishers. Perfect. So for Peter's question, and yes, I did tell him to repeat it. Let's see. Put together a kind of like a press kit in a way where, maybe one paragraph, nothing too long, of your main characters, a synopsis, but like a short one. I mean, I wouldn't go up. I think with this kind of stuff, you wouldn't go above, a couple paragraphs for the quick synopsis. But then there's also a more extensive. I think the publishers also want to know where the story is headed, so it's good to have like a detailed summary of the beginning, middle, and end, or where the story is headed. And then maybe like a lookbook, so the pages you've done already and stuff like that, and who's in your team, and so that's a good way to do it. And I think the one I had for Neo Wonderland was like not more than 10-12 pages, because I had character bios and stuff like that, and some of the art that I already did. But during that time when I had that pitch packet, it's called the pitch packet, I didn't really have any interior pages drawn yet, so it wasn't very, like, not a good way to pitch it. So I think after this next few issues, I would probably have an easier time. But at the end of the day, you always want to see the interior, and then where the story is headed, and how much experience each person has gives them confidence. And a lot of times, if you're pitching, let's just say to Image and stuff, and maybe Dark Horse, they like to know that there's at least 4 issues done, and that you guys have a process so that they get these books in a timely manner. Even if you do only 6 issues and then there's a break in between, as long as they know that you could actually get it done, you have a higher chance of getting it published. I mean, that's what Joe did with Lady Mechanica, and when Image finally published it, I was looked at the tail end of it, basically, of getting it through the door. So they had a good track record already. But yeah, anything between 10 to 12 pages if you have to, because they're so busy with all these submissions as it is. But the more you could show visually and a concise write-up of your story, the better. So, and it also helps you as well with your elevator pitch. I could try to get into more detail after I could ruminate on it a little bit longer, but I've done a couple, so hope that helps, Peter. And thank you for the reminder as well. It's a good question. Oh yeah, and bios on the people on the team, of course. Some work that you've done, like a little blurb. Not even a whole paragraph, but maybe like a really short paragraph of each person that's on the team. That would be also the stuff that you guys have done before is also going to be really helpful. Yeah, good luck, Peter. Update the Discord about your process, and if you have any more questions. And good luck to your team, because it's nerve-wracking to put yourself out there, so I totally get it. Hello, Rachel. Thank you for joining us. Oh, awesome, Peter. And I wonder if you could download the captions or something, because that probably works out a lot better. um, and I might be able to send you, I don't know if I have a template of what to include, but it's a lot like a film pitch packet as well. But you have to include the artwork in this case. Oh, thank you so much, Echo. So I don't think I got a chance to show you guys. Like, I think I made like 40 different origami pieces for it. So I was like, oh, maybe I could give it away and stuff, but I don't know how I would do that. But see, I'll pull out a Christmas tree, crane, and this kimono girl. I love these. Oh, and Pocky, of course. So here are a few different ornaments I made. We got Pocky. We have a little girl with a kimono. Oops. Her head's all cocky. And a crane and Christmas tree. So I made a bunch of different ones because I didn't want to spend money on ornaments. Imagine how much that would cost. So this was cheaper. Just to buy a thing of origami paper pad and then just make stuff. It was fun. It's relaxing. I mean, I spend like half an hour to an hour every night before I go to bed and just make full paper. It was pretty relaxing. I think the Pocky was like, I have to learn how to make a cat. So there's a few different cat tutorials online on how to make origami cats. So it's cheap and it's unique. And John was like, please don't burn the tree down. I'm like, oh, it's okay. It's just LED lights, so it's very cool. But imagine if it was just iridescent lights, incandescent lights. Sorry. Yeah, I know. Cost friendly, and I love origami, so it was just an excuse. But then again, I would have rather have liked to just buy ornaments and stick them on the tree. But yeah, it would cost a lot of money. I'll just leave that there for now. See, I'm skipping around a little bit just to get as much of this done as possible. And if I need to, what is it called? I know, you guys, I need to do Pocky ornament. I gotta time it perfectly so that the Kickstarter gets delivered before Christmas. So you guys have a Pocky ornament. And there might be a way to do that actually. So I'm gonna go in here with my Palomino black wing pencil and clean up my lines a little bit so I don't just ink randomly. Pocky tutorial origami. Oh yeah. In fact, if you guys Google it or go to YouTube and type in, you'll find some really cool ones. There was one I was trying to make. Well, I made a reindeer. That one was fun, but I didn't do a great job with that one. You could barely see it. I wanted to make it look, and I'm like an origami snob. It has to be one sheet of paper. I refuse to do ones where you're cutting it all up and there's like multiple sheets of paper. You could do it. It's just for me, origami is like one sheet, and you could probably cut the one sheet into a shape, but that's the extent of it. But I should probably be more open-minded and just start doing different ones. But we won't have that kind of time after Christmas, you guys. We got to get this book done. So no more playing around with paper. Origami paper, at least. Hey, State of the Art, you made it, finally. Yeah, you were telling me earlier or everybody in the chat that you won't be here until later. Aw, Pocky's snow globe. Pocky's gonna have his own merchandise in the toy aisle at a toy store or something. Someday, maybe. Okay. Let's go ahead and ink. My ink is dry. Is it? Yeah, it's dry. Origami snob. Yep. Origami snob. Also a pencil snob and a ink snob too, so drawing utensil snob. Man, this sweater's getting hot. I don't mind it so much. Last week I was sniffling and stuff because it was so cold. Should I move myself again? Okay. Who won the sweater? Origami creases me up. Love the puns, Michael. Why do I do this to myself? I should just use the pen. But it looks so cool. See, this is where stubbornness is going to get me. It's like, just use the brush pen. I think I'll do that. We'll just save the, shoot. Dang it. Too much ink. Oh yeah, banded rose. That would be fun. I've seen some really pretty fabric ornaments today. They did like mice, and it looked so vintage. It was really pretty. They're paying, I think they're charging $30 or $25 for an ornament. It was so pretty. Um, yeah, I wish I was able to sew right now. I do little things when I'm sewing, but like the amount of time that I'd sew something and it's like, why don't I just buy it instead? Because there's other people who sew way better than I can. Like I would love to knit a sweater. I have a friend who knits sweaters and she's amazing. Um, I wish I could do that because it's so specific. But yeah, I guess comic books is my jam. This is what I do. Black tigress, yes, kitty, angry kitty. Well, actually, he's more like James Bond or Mission Impossible kitty right now. He's trying to be incognito with his helmet, as if people don't know that he's a cat. Have you tried doing crochet, Sia? Yes, Echo, I have. I haven't done it since I was in high school. My mom used to do that, and my grandma. I never tried knitting, even though I really wanted to. But yeah, I've crocheted before. I have so many different hobbies. At some point, it's like I gotta kind of narrow down the things that I want to do. Like paint. Um, what else do I do? Hiking, backpacking, and yeah, so many hobbies. Building Gundams, I guess. But definitely drawing comic books takes up a lot of creative juice and time. So in cat, incognito. I love the kitty puns. There's one thing that stops me from scrolling when I'm on social media and I see cat videos. I'll stop and watch it a couple times over and over again and just start laughing. I can't help myself. In fact, I was this close to getting a ugly Christmas sweater with a cat on it, but I'm like, but if it's not Pocky, it wouldn't make a whole lot of sense for me. Uh, so Echo, I plan on having at least 3 volumes for the first story arc, and then I have like I've expanded the world where it could go as long as it needs to go. So for this time around, it's gonna be 3 volumes, so 6 issues per uh, volume, I guess, maybe 8. And I do have a distributor and publisher in mind, but I have a couple actually. So we'll see. We'll see that we'll get there when we get there, and I think we'll be okay. First things first, it's got to be awesome, and you guys get to see it before everybody else, and then we'll go from there. Because I want this to be, my best work that I've done so far. We all want to get there, I think, as artists, and sometimes we never have that opportunity, and I felt like right now I had to do it. Just do it while I still have the enthusiasm to do comic books, tell stories, and especially with this story. I should make a Pocky Christmas sweater. Oh my gosh, Echo, guess what I saw yesterday? It was a guy, I don't know what language he was speaking. He was kind of out in the snow and stuff. And there's this huge owl, like attached to his chest, and he's speaking about the owl. I don't know what he's saying. He's petting it and stuff. And then the owl turns and he looks at the camera. And then the guy kisses the owl on the forehead. It was so cute. And I saw him twice on Instagram. I'm like, this is fascinating. Oh, man. Aw. Thank you so much, Tony. Pocky Pocket Book. Oh, I love the owls. It's so cute. It was a huge owl too, but it had a cute face. Man, having a pet owl would be amazing. I mean, how cool would you be if you had a pet owl or a falcon or a hawk? I mean, you'd be like a badass, right? Or an eagle. I always wanted one of those. Yet I end up with a squirrel in the neighborhood named Elvis. I didn't feed him, but you know, we made eye contact and I felt like he was mine. So. Hello, Mr. Dogs. Thank you for joining us. Air Force cats. Oh, I know. They have the eyes and everything. Oh, I know, Rachel. So at the cabin where I used to live for 5 years, every now and then you'll get bald eagles, and there's one time where there was like 3 bald eagles on the tree, and I got some really cool pictures of it. They are so amazing. And I love the chirping sound they make. It's, or I don't know what you call it, but it's beautiful. Like last year, we drove around when it was snowing and got some really cool pictures of just different birds, elk in the neighborhood. It was really cool. I have not gotten a picture of an owl yet. I saw it a couple times on the highway flying across, and they're gigantic. They're bigger than I realized. But the bald eagle and the hawk were my favorites. And the chickadees. They have really cute little chickadees here. Thanks so much, David Ard. What? A pet leopard killed the owl? That's insane. To have those 2 animals as, well, I mean, in the same place for one thing. Joel, at night, I'm sure owls are scary. Hello, H862 from India. Nice to meet you. Oh, screeching sound. Okay. Yeah, you know what else screeches is foxes. Those are, ugh, the way they sound. And mountain lions. They're crazy. So I can't tell if it's an owl, mountain lion, or a fox, because they all screech at night and scream. It's unreal when you hear it. You're like, is that really coming from that animal? You want a pet tiger for Christmas? Yeah, you have to ask Mike Tyson for one of his his tigers. State of art, yes, I do actually. You can kind of see part of it written here, but yeah, I would do it afterwards so that I can move it around and stuff, because I don't want it to be baked into my pages. I know some people are really good at that, but I am not one of those people yet. I don't have enough practice to bake in my lettering. And sometimes I want to change it too. It's like, what if I come up with a better piece of dialogue. I would like to have the flexibility of changing it, I guess. Pet bison. Oh, John would be happy with one of those. I thought foxes say Naruto. InDesign, I use Clip Studio Paint for my pages, for lettering and stuff. It is almost dinner time and I'm getting hungry. Usually when I stream, on days where I'm streaming, my diet's all weird because I'm doing so much stuff ahead of time before the live stream that I'm doing work and making sure the camera's working and stuff, that I eat. I think I ate enough, and then it's always a weird time and I don't eat enough. So I cannot wait for dinner today. I think we're having Korean food. So Joe Exotic. Apparently there's more one tigers in captivity in Texas and than there are in the wild in the world. That's what I hear, JD. I know, it's crazy. I wonder why that is. I'm curious. Oh, camera died. I know, I always get hungry during a stream. I know, it's weird. I think it's just, it's right in the middle of like, because it's like 2 o'clock my time, so 1 o'clock, so it's technically lunchtime. So I eat like a late breakfast, but then it's a small breakfast because I'm usually running errands or doing something else. And trying to fix things, trying to find a Christmas sweater. But I ordered this off of Amazon, so that wasn't bad. I was gonna get the Bob Ross one, but they only had extra large on Amazon, so I was like, yeah, never mind. It would just be so big I wouldn't be able to draw because the sleeves would be super long. Kimchi jjigae is great on a cold winter day. Well, I think that's what we're having today. Tony, is kimchi jjigae or jeji bulgogi. So we'll see. At least I insist on it. Spicy pork. I agree, Michael. And even with me, like I love them so much, and I don't have the kind of time that would allow me to have a pet. That it's just better that I don't have one, even though I would love to be around them all the time, but it just wouldn't be fair. And I move around so much. I seriously considered getting a dog, but it's like, no, I probably won't be able to. Not yet, at least. That's why it's nice that my brother has cats. I could always appreciate them through him. Secondhand cats, yeah, exactly. Send me beautiful photos and videos of your kitty cats, and I'll admire, and your dogs, and I'll admire them for you. Oh, they have Bob Ross covers on magazines. That would be amazing. I didn't know they had that. I always thought he was just mostly on TV, up until recently, where they had calendars and stuff made of him, but I didn't know he was on the cover of magazines and stuff. That's awesome. We're gonna avoid the faces again and just jump to a simpler panel. Yeah, animal sanctuaries, like the really nice ones, not the Tiger King guy. The one that was they had the TV show about Netflix, I think. Pet babysitting. Oh. We're making some progress here, at least on panels that I feel comfortable inking. Yeah, exactly. I didn't know they had any Bob Ross covers. You can't even get his own original stuff because he considers them lessons more than, I guess, paintings or masterpieces or whatever he calls them. So you can't really buy original Bob Ross paintings. Although they've auctioned off a couple, I think, for some causes. I think we're gonna go back to the pen again one more time. Thank you so much, Inktologist. Yeah, I think state of the art, if I was able to, I would love to tighten my pencils a little bit more, but I do like the fluidity and the flow of the lines when it's not completely tight, and you get to enjoy yourself, inking it. I mean, Francis Manipul said the same thing, where he told me where maybe on his episode, where when you tighten it so much, it doesn't leave any room for anything, I guess, interesting lines and stuff. So it's kind of nice to have it where there's just enough there, and then you could do something new instead of just tracing over something, your own stuff. I mean, if you could get so good like Michael Turner, where his lines are so tight that you don't need an inker, and then that's also nice as well. So. I think Dan Panosian, sorry. His lines are really rough, and then when he inks, it just looks amazing. Because his shapes are so broad that he could do that. Mike's pencils are crazy tight. That's why I was so happy when I got one original Michael Turner page from Frank. It was the best gift ever, and I got to pick my page out, and I picked the one that had his background work and his character work because I thought that his pencils are so clean, even with like technology, the way that he pencils them. And unfortunately, I don't know where my art portfolio went that has that piece in it. It also has my Sean Murphy original and my Mark Silvestri Wolverine original. So I think it's probably at my dad's house. At least I'm hoping. Because I moved so much and I lost track of everything. Terry Austin. I have to look Terry up. I'm sure I'm familiar with his work, but I probably don't know specifically what his style looks like, I guess. Oh, thank you so much, Brian. I look like the tree, apparently. The tree and I are twinsies right now. Yeah, Echo Frank shows. There's a lot of amazing artists, honestly. They're so unique. And they all have different approaches, which I think is part of what style is and part of their personality too. It kind of goes hand in hand. I didn't get to see the Supergirl trailer yet. Echo. I'm happy to see the new Street Fighter movie though. I've been waiting a while for a new one from the '90s, which was the one with Jean-Claude Van Damme and Ming-Na. But I'm waiting to see someone do Ryu correctly or the way I would like it, and Ken. So I'm curious. And Blanca looks pretty cool. The main actress for Supergirl was really great in Game of Thrones, so House of Dragon. So I'm sure she's gonna do great in this movie. I'm not really sold on David Best, Diaz, and Bison. I didn't get to see him. I didn't. You know what? The way they cut the trailer was so fast that I watched it on my phone, and so I wasn't really on my. It was so fast that I didn't know who was in Bison. So, was there Sagat as well? Yeah, I'd have to go back and watch the trailer. Where's in Bison's? It's so funny how hard it is to get in Bison right. Don't you think you and I are like, oh yeah, should be easy to find an Bison, right? Oh, bye. Thank you for hanging out with us, Tigress. Oh, I have to see Lobo's trailer too. Was there a trailer for Lobo? I know I saw pictures. Oh, cool. I'll check it out, Echo. Yeah, I was watching the Game Awards, and I sometimes when I scroll, I'll see Jason's post on the characters he's playing, and I thought I saw Lobo. It looked amazing. Let's try the brush one more time. I don't recall, but did I ever ink an actual page live, you guys? Like full on page or no? Yeah, you know what? I have. Never mind. It was also Neo Wonderland. Oh, Logos and Supergirl. Okay, that's what it is. Okay, that makes sense now. Because I thought I saw a picture of those two together or side by side. Yeah, then Jason Momoa is Aquaman and Lobo, so that's an interesting thing, huh? She is a what do you call it? She is a waitress, and I guess I could say this. She's Saint's first crush. You know, his first girl really said hi to him because I don't think Aya counts because Pocky tends to do the talking before she does. Little Nike Junior. This is it's a Pigma fine brush tip. So that's what I'm inking with right now. I was using brushes, but the ink was coming out way too fast, and I was using India ink instead of Sumi, so I didn't want to fumble around with it too much since I'm live streaming. So I'm just gonna do it with this, so it's much faster. So this is actually it's Shin. He is the main character's brother. He's also the other main character, and then this is Aya. So she's a kunoichi, basically a female ninja in a way, detective. And this is Maya. She is a bartender or waitress. Little Nike Junior. Yes, I do listen to music while I sketch. Oh, and I have a playlist for Wonderland. So a lot of times, if I need to get into cyberpunk, I have a playlist on Spotify. Yeah, Peter, I did share it, but then I had to unshare it really quick and then change out a few things and settings on there. So I'm gonna reshare my cyberpunk playlist because there's a few songs on there that were not cyberpunk at all. I just got them in the wrong list. It was like dance or something like that. So I streamlined it, and I'll reshare it on. I'll do it on the Discord. Alrighty. My stomach is telling me, guess what time it is, girly? Did you share? I got a question. What the main story about when it comes to demon or monster comics? Um. Oh, have a good night, Joe Den. I did not see you. Sorry. Echo. Last year it was I think it was. I'm trying to remember. I saw it last year. You know what? I'm gonna check out my Spotify today and see what it says, and I could post that as well on the Discord to see what my Wrapped is. It's probably some Japanese band or something because I've been listening to so much Neo Wonderland, and then the other one's probably Glitch Mob, and then maybe The Weekend here and there, and then maybe Grimes. I don't know. Was listening to a lot of like music to get me pumped to do Cyberpunk or Neo Wonderland. Thank you so much. It's coming together. Did you see? Yeah, I'm gonna not do anything with the middle panel because that's the one of the establishing shots for the arcade. So I want to make sure I design it well, and I have to do the racing right here track. So I want to make sure it's consistent because it's going to show up multiple times in the book. And the last thing I want to do is like just throw something together just because it's in the background, and then later on it's inconsistent. So yep, got a design. And you guys saw earlier on the stream how I blocked everything out and haven't designed anything yet because I'm gonna have to go look at some resources, whether it's real Tokyo or just some concept art references that I found. So the last Jew Femme? No, I don't think so. I don't have time to do contests anymore, even though there's a few cool ones I think would be kind of neat. But good luck to anybody that does join. So little new Nike, it's gonna be April, so gonna get printed in March, which means I have to haul some serious ass. Thank you so much, Richard. Final reveal before you go. It would be nice to see if it all in one shot. Heard to believe you get so much done while chatting. Do you mean over buckets like the whole entire comic book, or do you mean like just this page right here when I'm done inking it? Usually if I did worked on the thing during the week, the next stream I try to show what I did the week before or whatever and my progress. But yeah, I think I'll show you guys without the spoilers. I'll probably show you guys the pages and stuff. And when I am shipping the book out, you guys get to see, we're going to do a live stream. I have to talk to Rups about how we're going to go about doing that. I'll be in the warehouse and we're going to package up the books together and you'll see the whole entire thing. It's going to be nice. Pretty cool. It's like a special send-off to everybody who backed the book, and you know your names in the back of the book and stuff like that. So if you prompt me, I will show your names in the back of the book and all that when it's done. But yeah, we're going to walk through the whole entire process. Yes, it's going to be a warehouse stream. And Chris is excited to do it too. So, and he's got a gigantic warehouse. I think I forgot what the square footage was. It was some crazy number. So, warehouse stream. Yep. And he's setting up his own podcasting live stream thing. So it's going to be awesome. Morris, I would love to do Ghost in the Shell. That would be awesome. I think I would really enjoy that one. Thank you so much, Shane. Cyberpumped. Yeah, let's cyberpump this thing. All right, you guys. I'm gonna go get dinner. So I'm gonna get some kimchi jjigae, I think. But I will see you guys maybe next week. We'll see, because I have a lot of business things to do for the Kickstarter, and it's probably gonna kick my butt next week. I was supposed to do it on Friday, but I never got to it. So I'll try to stream next week, if not Saturday, some other day where it's before Christmas. But we'll try something. Shige, yes. So I will add some stuff to the Discord after our chat, and the Spotify list and everything. And yeah, thank you for hanging out with me in my Christmas sweater that I blended in with completely to my tree. I'm twinsies with the tree. So thank you so much, you guys. You guys all have a good weekend. I'm going to scroll up and say bye to everybody that I could find. And if you're too far up, then you could go ahead and say bye at the bottom while I scroll up. And it's going to keep pushing the chat up. So let's see here. Let's go all the way up here. So Little Nike Jr., State of the Art, Echo, Joe, Peter, JD, of course, The Last Jew, Ogre, Richard, Robert. I think Stefan and Arthur, if you guys are still here, and Michael, Comic Addiction. Yes, Shane, Xbox, Gamer Trev 6763, Rachel, and Inktologist, Morse, I think I said that, I'm not sure, David, John, and DGNCVSCXV, and Napoleon. Awesome. Comic Addiction. Yes. I'll tell John you said Merry Christmas, unless you're talking about a different John. Oh, well, there's John Brown as well. And Shane. All right, you guys. Hopefully I'll see you in the Discord during the week, and I'll add some more stuff. And please feel free to post more pictures of your pets and your food. I enjoy seeing them, and your art, of course. And I'll put my music recommendation up this week as well. So, all right, you guys. You all have a wonderful week. Pre-holiday chaos, and everything. So, all right, you guys. Good night or evening. Good evening, I think. Good evening. I will see you guys pretty soon. Bye.